for the county government may have perceived we are calling all 57. We PDF'd that and sent it by email. I apologize about not listing page 450 to page such and such as to be the focus of that specific witness. However, Mr. Speaker, sir, in all of the witness statements that we have filed, I'll call only 4, so that then I do not then disabuse them of the notion that we'll call 57.
Okay.
It's just those that have actually sworn the witness statements, and these were served on time. On time, Mr. Speaker. I thank you very much. I therefore ask and urge, plead that your discretion, Mr. Speaker, sir, will be exercised so that we can proceed and that what has been served as witness statements can be admitted. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, sir, if you may, and I do not want to prolong this issue, I want to make it clear that the advocates appearing for the County Assembly, we have no issues with document labeled as 10A to 10D to 10F. Our bone of contention, Mr. Speaker, for purposes of clarity and guiding you as and when you go to issue your discretion, is 10G and 10H. Mr. Speaker, your discretion is a constitutional discretion because it shall be based on the context of the standing orders before you, which by virtue of Article 124 enjoys the presumption of constitutionality, Mr. Speaker, and the same, Mr. Speaker, that right that Mr. Kenyanjui is seeking for his client and Article 50 is the same that our clients are claiming. Mr. Speaker, in your discretion, kindly consider the question of fair hearing and fair trial and the indolency of a party who fails to comply with the rules. Because rules are made to be complied with, not for breach and not for mercy.
Okay, honorable senators and council, we have to make progress, and having listened to all the parties and having looked at the documentation that is before us and using my discretion just the way I used my discretion yesterday to stretch the time, I will allow the 4 witnesses and the governor to appear, and then you now have to tell me how you want to manage the time, how much time each witness is going to take.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. I will take about 5 to 10 minutes on each of the 4 witnesses. Probably if they extend in terms of re-examination, maybe 15 minutes factoring the cross-examination.
So 15 will be maximum. Okay?
I hope so.
Okay. Not hope so. We have to agree so that we manage our time. And your 4 hours start now, so proceed.
Yes, just for the 4 witnesses. My 5th witness is His Excellency the Governor.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, sir, before I commence, my learned friend has said that he will not address document H and I. It was the subject of your ruling yesterday. It was so admitted and it's allowed. Thank you. My first witness is Sylvia Musei. Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members, Sylvia Musei has a deposition in volume 3 at page 654, running to the end of the document at page 659. 657, sorry.
I, Sylvia Musea, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before the Senate in respect of the matters before the Senate shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Sylvia, You saw a deposition in these proceedings before this Honorable Senate?
Yes,
you
I did.
confirm? And that is found in volume 3 of document D at page 654 to page 657.
Yes, I did.
You are an honorable member of Nairobi City County Assembly.
Yes, I am.
You are aware that His Excellency the Governor is facing impeachment proceedings.
Yes, I am.
In relation to the said impeachment proceedings before the County Assembly, what do you have to say about the said process?
I will say that the impeachment process was procured largely by duress and coercion, not because so much of the substance of the impeachment, but because of the interests of some individuals, especially the leadership of the House. I will explain this by 3 ways. One, there was a disciplinary action commenced against me and 3 others at the Jubilee Party 3 days to the impeachment, which ended up at around 6:30, and there was a decision by the disciplinary committee in a matter of 2 hours. That decision was later rescinded and stamped fake. But 2 days to the impeachment on Thursday, there was a communication from the chair, who is the speaker, suspending 3 of us from being members of the Jubilee Party for a period of 3 months and de-whipping us from our committees for a period of 6 months. 2, there was a de-whipping of Mark Ndongo, Honorable, from being the board member representing the Jubilee members. 3, on the material day of the impeachment, that is the 3rd of December? Yes. Yes. 3rd of December, the ODM sent a letter that was signed by Sifuna, who is the SG of the party, fining at least 8 members between 500,000 to 1 million for disciplinary actions that had been commenced earlier. 4, there was a letter purporting to de-whip Honorable Beatrice Waithera, MCA, and Ruth Ndumi, both Jubilee, because they were not paying party subscription fees. So all this goes towards intimidation of members and alleged party position that the whip denied on public television. 2, there was threatening. As members, we met to discuss and deliberate on the impeachment at Riverside. Thereafter, we were tear-gassed by the police, and they followed us to Upper Hill, which is the private residence of the governor, from which we decided to now go to Kwale and follow the proceedings from there.
How many were you when you say you?
At Riverside, we were actually more. We were about 67.
67?
Yeah. But by the time we arrived at Upper Hill, because of the tear gassing and all that issues, we were about 60. 57 of us proceeded to Kwale, and we switched off our phones because they were ringing non-stop by the leadership of the House, trying to purport that there was a party position from His Excellency, the President, and the Right Honorable Prime Minister, saying that they had sanctioned the impeachment, messages of which we have. Finally, I'll speak on the issue of the leadership of the House, that this impeachment has been commenced is of the interest of a few people who hold leadership position, not so much because of the substance of the impeachment, but because of their selfish interest. They say it's either their way or you get out of the way. We have been victims of their abuse of office. The governor is becoming a victim because if he does not do as they wish, then they commence impeachment. Most of these members in the leadership, from Honorable Guyo Abdi, who is the leader of majority, and Honorable Ogada, who is the mover of the motion, are former, without prejudice to who they were former councillors. And they have alleged that they have a way of running City Hall, and the governor is interfering with their methodology of doing things. And so this impeachment, I submit finally, is not on substance, but it is because of the interest of a few people, and they have used all means of intimidation of members to procure this impeachment to this stage.
Yes, thank you. You say in your, so that we conclude, you say in your affidavit in paragraph 4 that there was no lawful virtual casting of votes during the purported voting on the December 3rd. Why do you say that?
Because the standing orders of the Assembly, like of the Senate, provide for 2 ways of voting. One is physical voting, And 2 is electronic, where we put our cards and vote yes or no, and it goes to the screen. And so you can see Honorable Sylvia has voted no, and Honorable so-and-so has voted yes. That did not happen.
In volume 2, at page 301, is your image there as the people, volume 2, page 301, there were people who were taking images at Kwale.
Yes, yes.
You confirm that yours is as number 17?
I am number 17 in the images, out of the 57 of us who are physically in Kwale.
Page 301, volume 2. Yes, so what do you have to say in terms of what you say in paragraph 7 of your affidavit? You say about the resolution that now this Honorable Senate is dealing with.
I submit that there was not a resolution of 2/3 of the members to impeach the governor of Nairobi. They did not have the numbers. They did not have the numbers at the impeachment notice. They did not have the numbers at the motion on 3rd of December. That was on Thursday.
Yes. In paragraph 9, you also allude to the logging in, the Zoom facilities.
I actually have to say this. On Tuesday, when a communication from the chair purporting to remove us or suspend us from the Jubilee Party was done, I did not log in, but my name was logged in. So, and that has happened even before during the budget, where one person logs in twice, thrice, 4 times. I remember the budget, when we passed the budget, we had a total of 138 people in the Zoom platform against 121 members of the County Assembly.
So, there were actually no 88 people. Mr. Okumu stood and said that the threshold had been met. From your own testimony?
No, there was no threshold met.
Now, so that I close the issue of the payment by the county, by the governor, Okumu said that garbage collectors and only lawyers have been paid. In paragraph 12, you refute that allegation.
I am the chairperson of the Committee of Education, and I moved a motion on payment of lawyers and outsourcing of lawyers, I remember. And I got information from the executive wing, information which I have is part of the evidence, on payment of SMEs, about 287 between 1 to 5 million, and another 115 between 5 to 10 million. And it is my submission that the county government of Nairobi and the governor of Nairobi has done substantive effort in paying of small and medium enterprises against the nation of lawyers. And at the point where we have to pay lawyers, we actually must pay lawyers because they even sue us to ensure that we pay. So we have to enforce court orders if given.
Yes. There was a clip that was played earlier on here. Yeah. If I could just show her that, so that then she affirms and confirms that she was indeed at Kwale on that day. This is exhibit GM14, reference at page 112, volume 1, at paragraph 69. The clip at Kwale. While you were at Kwale, there was a concurrent meeting at the Nairobi City County Assembly.
Yes, there was from the beginning,
yes,
during the debate,
yes,
and up to the voting.
It is alleged that you actually, some of you voted while at Kwale.
I can confirm I personally did not vote. I can confirm the people around me did not vote, and we have a number of them within this building or within the precincts of Senate, and we did not vote. We did not vote. We did not even have the forms, yes, to vote.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that we can have the clip play for you, I want us to confirm that indeed you were at Kwale on the material day, and that the 57 of you at least never actually voted. If that clip could be played so that I close with this witness, kindly. I have referenced it at page 69 of the volume 1, the governor's affidavit. Would you confirm that that is the event that you speak of during the occasion of the impeachment proceedings at the County Assembly?
Yes, I do.
Would you confirm that indeed at the county assembly, you are not able to access the data of the people voting.
No, we could not access the data.
You could not access. Thank you very much. You will be asked questions on cross-examination, and then please be faithful to answer and as brief as possible.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Your witness. Please come here. Or would it be possible? Is it okay? Also, okay. She crossed.
Can sanitize, yeah? Sanitize her. You can switch off the video. I'm sure we have already.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, my name is Ashioya. Honorable Sylvia, morning.
Good morning.
I did not want to interject when the honorable member was giving her statement from the understanding that we had from the House yesterday. But then you started by saying that you were intimidated by way of suspension, you were intimidated by way of whipping, and on the material day of the impeachment, some members of ODM were de-whipped, and lastly, that there was a de-whipping of Waithera. Is it true?
I have not mentioned Waithera. I mentioned Mark Ndongo, board member.
Very well. Is that material contained in your affidavit?
Yes, it is.
That aspect of suspension, de-whipping, and members of ODM being fined?
It is in paragraph 3. I've just gone to the length of expounding and explaining it.
Can you read the specific part in that paragraph that talks about all these things, about you being threatened, and you even say that you were tear-gassed in Upper Hill before you went to, is it Riverside?
Riverside and Upper Hill.
Is that evidence in your affidavit?
That evidence is not in my affidavit.
It's not in your affidavit. I wanted to bring that as a preliminary issue because I did not want to interject the honorable member as she was on her feet. Now, Honorable Waithera, for how long have you been Mseya? For how long have you been a member of the County Assembly?
Since 2017.
Since 2017, thank you. And so you are aware of Standing Order number 3 of the Nairobi City County Assembly Standing Orders, right?
If you could read.
Standing Order number 3 is the standing order that talks about the mess of the assembly.
Yes,
are you aware of that standing order?
Yes, I am.
And you are aware that where the mess of the assembly is, that is where the assembly sits?
Yes, I'm aware.
You are aware. And that on the 3rd day of December, when the impeachment motion was moved, it was moved there where the mess was. True or not true?
True.
Did you get a communication from the Office of the Speaker for this specific day, the 3rd day of December, 2020?
I cannot confirm if I did or I did not because our phones were off.
Your phones were off?
Yeah.
Is it the fault of the Speaker that your phone was off?
No, but as I alluded earlier.
Just give me a yes or a no, please.
No, it is not.
It wasn't.
No.
Thank you. And you confirm that as a member of the County Assembly, it is your responsibility to oversight, represent, and legislate.
It is.
and that whatever was happening on the 3rd day of December 2020 was speaking to one of your roles, that is the oversight role, right?
Right.
Thank you. You have brought evidence, though which evidence, or you have alluded, you have testified that as at the time when the motion was moved on 3rd, you had been suspended.
Yes, I have.
And so you did not have the capacity to participate in that process.
I agree.
And so therefore, you cannot be a complainant to complain that you did not participate in the process.
I can be, because it is one of the issues I'm raising on intimidation of members.
So
And actually, reducing the number of people who could vote for the governor or against the impeachment, because we are perceived to be pro-governor, which is actually a statement of fact.
Now just listen to my question.
Yes.
Can you participate in the affairs of the House while on suspension?
I said I cannot. And
Thank you. Thank you. And even if you were to, let's say for argument's sake that you were, on this particular day you decided voluntarily and very deliberately to conduct your business or to take yourself to a place that was outside Nairobi. It was voluntary, right?
I have not volunteered to be included in Tuesday session yet. I was.
No, just answer my question.
My power.
You have said you were in Kwale, right?
I have said I was in Kwale, yes.
And you took yourself there.
I did.
Now, can we go through standing order number 28?
Okay.
Standing order number 28, Mheshimiwa,
Okay.
talks about regular sessions of the county assembly. Are you aware of that standing order?
I am.
I want to very specifically bring to your attention that it is required of you to be in the assembly when you are supposed to be in the county assembly when required, or any member of the county assembly is supposed to be there when required. Is it true or not true?
True.
But on this particular day, without leave of the speaker, you decided to be outside the jurisdiction of where you are supposed to be performing your duties. True or not true?
Same standing orders provide that we cannot miss the session 8 times consecutively. So I have not. I was in the House the week before. It is regular practice that members do not participate in all House sessions, and voting by or refusing to vote is part of my right. So that is what we are practicing in Kwale by saying we abstain from that vote.
Very well. So you did not participate deliberately?
We did not participate deliberately.
Thank you so much. Lastly, now, still on, let's and this will be my last concern, probably my last question. I want to refer you to the County Assembly Powers and Privileges Act, right?
Okay.
Are you in the first place aware of this act?
Yes, I am. I've been a member of the Powers and Privileges Committee.
Thank you. And so you are aware of Section 28 of the Powers and Privileges Act?
If you could be so kind to read it for me.
Yes, I'll be so kind. And this is what it says. Section 28(1). A person shall not by fraud, intimidation, force, insult, or threat of any kind, or by the offer or promise of any inducement, or benefit of any kind, or by any other improper means, 1, influence a member in the performance of the member's function as a member. B, induce a member to be absent from a county assembly or a committee at a particular time. C, attempt to compel a member to declare himself or herself in favor or against a matter pending before or proposed or expected to be submitted to a county assembly. And then, if you just will allow me to, a member shall not solicit, receive, or accept any fee, compensation, gift, reward, favor, or benefit of any kind for the member or another person for in respect of, 1, voting in any particular manner or not voting on a matter before the county assembly. B, promoting or opposing anything pending before or proposed or expected to be submitted to a county assembly. C, making a representation to a county assembly. 3, a person who contravenes this section commits an offense.
I'm aware of that.
You are aware of that particular section.
Very.
And so a video has been played in which it has been exhibited and you have testified that you are not the only person in Kwale. You are not only 2, but you are a number. Is it true or not true?
True.
And that when you went there, you were in the company or you had the blessings of the governor. Is it true or not true?
Not true.
It is not true.
Not true.
So who took you to Kwale?
We decided to take ourselves.
You took yourselves to Kwale.
Yes, we did.
And so, what you're saying is that you are not influenced,
No, I was not. Not at all.
right?
Yes.
You are not compelled.
No, I was not.
So you took yourself to Kwale and came back.
Yes, I did.
Very well. That shall be all for this witness.
Thank you very much. Just 2 questions on re-exam. Yes, you were asked about your suspension and that you actually took no active part in the county assembly matters. What do you have to say about that?
As senators, you know the level of intimidation that can happen when people want to force a decision. We were mere victims by way of suspension. We were mere victims by way of de-whipping. And we urge that the Senate, in its protection of devolution, that it shall protect its members towards taking an active, democratic, and transparent process. Because the de-whipping had nothing to do with our conduct. As I said, I'm an honorable member, a chair of the Education Committee, an active participant of the House. I think I've contributed most motions, statements, and even 2 bills before the House. So there was no reason for me to be suspended other than to make a statement about the impeachment. It was supposed to cow down, especially the nominated members, so that they vote towards a certain direction. That message was communicated clearly, and members became very fearful.
Thank you.
Finally, as I said, this impeachment is not on the substance of the motion, it is on the interests of the leadership of the House, led by the Minority Leader, Michael Ogada. Move of the motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sylvia. I wish to have you rest, unless, Honorable Senator. Mr. Speaker, sir, I have my second witness, Emmanuel Kenga.
Order, there is some intervention from...
Yes, Honorable Speaker, with your very kind permission and permission from my senior colleague.
I think my time is being eaten up and kindly allow me, because the basis of your question has not been. My next witness.
Okay, just a minute. I've allowed him. Proceed.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. The side of Mr. Governor, Honorable His Excellency, said they were going to call 4 witnesses. We are not sure who those 4 witnesses are. For purposes of preparation, we just wanted to know who are these 4 witnesses so that we can prepare. Yes.
That's fair. Can you provide the names of the 4 witnesses? That's fair.
I had referenced my volume 3. My volume 3 has my witnesses. The witness coming in is Emmanuel Kenga at page 450. Same volume that we were with Sylvia.
Why don't you just mention?
Yes.
You mention all the four.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
The next witness is Kevin Omari.
Kevin?
And the last one is Douglas. And Douglas had also, Kevin Omari Nyabera is my next witness. And my last witness is the one who saw the affidavit to which Honorable Senator Orengo was alluding to.
What is the name?
Yes.
The name?
Douglas Ouma Nyakach.
Douglas Oma.
Nyakach.
And then
Yes.
Kevin, and who else? The third one, please?
Kenga, Emmanuel
Kenga. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Honorable Senators, Mr. Speaker, sir, at page 450, same volume, is the affidavit of my next witness. That's Emmanuel Kenga. Emmanuel Kenga. Please introduce yourself.
I swear by the Almighty God that I, Emmanuel Karista Kenga, do solemnly swear that the evidence I shall give in this court before the Senate in respect of the matters before the Senate shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Thank you very much. Mr. Emmanuel Kenga, you did swear an affidavit before these proceedings on the 13th of December 2020, located at page 450, all the way to page 525.
That's correct, sir.
Sorry, 527 of volume 3.
Correctly, sir.
Basically, you could introduce your field of expertise and experience.
Your Honor, Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm a document examiner, having trained locally and abroad. I retired from the National Police Service in the year 2015. Currently, I'm doing private examination on documents, and I have an experience of more than 26 years in the field.
Very well. At page 450 is his affidavit. Now, page 451 in paragraph 7, you therein list your expertise. You've been appearing in court cases.
Exactly, you are
As an
Speaker.
As an expert witness.
Yes,
Now, you did receive, according to your testimony, a request to examine the signatures which were purportedly signed by the MCAs in the Nairobi City County Assembly. And you came to a finding. Please explain.
Your Speaker, sir, I got a request from Ondeki and Ondeki company advocates requesting me to examine some documents involving handwriting and signatures, and I did that as requested and came out with my findings, which are contained in my report.
Yes, a copy of the signatures you were actually examining is what was submitted to this Honorable Senate by the Speaker of the County Assembly. You can confirm that they are located at page 491 to page 494 of volume 3. They are contained in your report.
Yes, Speaker, sir, the bundle was marked, I marked the bundle as A, and then there were some documents which were attached to the bundle. I had to examine the same, where we have handwritings and signatures, and my findings are as follows, your Speaker, sir.
Yes, there is a report at page 472, in which you said that at page 473, I apologize, Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members, 473 is typed at the foot of the said page, volume 3. You made a finding thereon that indeed there were several signatures there that had been forged or they were not genuine. You confirm that?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I examined the handwritings on the entries on the list on page 1 to page 88. The entries on the serial number 1 to number 88. And in my opinion, entry number 3, entry number 4, entry number 9, entry number 20, entry number 69, entry number 85, those writings, in my opinion, were made by the same author.
So in a nutshell, the list that was given by the County Assembly to Mr. Speaker, sir, in alleged confirmation of the majority having voted to impeach the governor, contained forgeries.
There are some writings which were made by an individual, and I've mentioned the entries in my report. I also want to further and examine the signatures on the lists, and then in my opinion, the signatures had different similarities, meaning that they were made by different authors.
You confirm the accuracy of your report? You confirm the accuracy of your report because you have at page 474 signed.
Exactly, Mr. Speaker, sir.
And you would like...
And I wish to produce the same report as exhibit in this Senate.
As evidence.
As evidence.
Thank you very much. You will be cross-examined on the same by the other side. Side over here. I'm sorry.
Mr. Speaker, sir, can I proceed?
Proceed.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to ask just a few questions in 2 minutes, and then I'll yield to my colleague, Mr. Okach, to proceed. Mr. Emmanuel Kenga.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
You say that you are a qualified forensic document examiner, right?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
And you are a retired commissioner of police.
That's correct, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Have you attached any documents as exhibit of your qualification as a document examiner in this bundle of documents?
I haven't attached my training documents.
You have not.
As a document examiner, but I have the documents. I have the documents with me.
Thank you. You say you are a retired commissioner of police.
That's correct, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Are you a retired commissioner of police, or you were fired
from
the service?
I wasn't fired.
You're not fired. Now, you said from the very onset that you got a request from the firm of Ondieki and Ondieki companies, right?
Correct, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Did you get any request to verify any signatures from the office of the Speaker, Nairobi City County Assembly?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Did you receive any request from the clerk?
I received a request from Ondieki and Ondieki company advocates.
And you can confirm that the firm of Ondieki and Ondieki company advocates were not the authors of the document that you were given to verify, right?
No.
Secondly, you say that you did a forensic analysis of the document that you're given?
I did an examination on the documents which were forwarded, and I did as requested and came out with the findings which are in my report.
Can you kindly be very specific on which documents you are told to, or that were given to you for analysis? Just kindly provide us with the name of the document that you are given for analysis and probably the page that it appears on this bundle of documents.
That is the date. Where does it start? Is it here?
Could we proceed, please? We are... So kindly tell us which document were you given to analyze?
Mr. Speaker, sir, that document is marked number 481.
481?
481. And the heading is requisition of the County Assembly of Nairobi. That is from 481 up to follow number 528, 527.
You confirm that the document at page 481 is a communication from the Assembly to the Speaker of this House. So you are also told to verify the authenticity of that document. Is that what you are testifying?
Mr. Speaker, sir, there is a list in between
Yes.
of members
Yes.
on serial number 1 to number 88.
Which page is that, please?
I'm sorry.
Which page?
Mr. Speaker, sir, the list of names, serial number 1 to serial number 88, are on page 491
Yes.
up to 494.
491 to 494.
494.
Thank you. Now, these are the, these, I want to presume, though it's a bit faint, are the names of the members of County Assembly who may have participated in some activity somewhere, because it's a bit faint, I can't see. Is it true?
Yeah, these are the members who participated, and we have names against their signatures.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Is there any other document that you are given that has their names and their signatures?
These are the documents which I worked on, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Those are the documents that you worked on?
Yes.
And so therefore, you did not, or you were never given a document for purposes of comparing. There were no other signatures of members that you're supposed to compare with the documents contained from pages 491 to 494. Is it true or not true?
I never got any signatures from any member to compare with whatever I have on page 491 up to page 494.
Then how did you arrive to the conclusion that these signatures were false, if you are not comparing with any other signatures?
The request was to examine the handwriting on the list, including the signatures appended against the names.
So it is a hand, you are comparing it with which other handwriting?
The handwritings in the list, Mr. Speaker.
With which other, because you see, you have said, okay, let's go to your report. Let's kindly just go to your report. Can you open where your report is, please?
Yes.
You have highlighted that there are particular handwritings that had been forged. Is it true?
That isn't true, Your Honor. I've not said that there was forgery. I've said I examined the writings
Yes.
on some serial numbers
Yes.
on the names.
And then
And
what
I've
was
said-
your conclusion?
My conclusion is that serial number 3, 4, 9, 20, 69, and 85, this writing was made by the same author.
They were made by the same author.
They were made by the same author.
So what becomes of the other serial numbers? Because you see, you need to help the Senate
Okay, just
arrive at a conclusion. What is it that you want the Senate to know?
The examination, Your Honor, or Mr. Speaker, was on the handwritings, the names.
So what about the names? That is what this House needs to know.
The request I got was to examine the handwritings of the names, whether they were made by different people or they were made by the same author. And my findings is that the serial numbers I've given out, according to my opinion, those serial numbers were made by the same author. And the reasons behind that are that I got some peculiar individual characteristics on the writings, and I gave a few characteristics on the capital M, capital K.
It's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
Figure 6,
Thank you
meaning
so-
that the serial numbers I've mentioned in the report, in the report, were made by the same author.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Honorable Speaker, I would wish to yield, but then just with my closing remarks that if a distinction has to be made, then there must be two documents. That will be all.
What's your intervention?
My colleague,
There is
Okash will take
there's Councillor Kinyanjui, Harrison.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. Malane comes, I've got the leave of this.
Mr. Speaker,
Kindly,
sir, we
Mr.
had-
Speaker, sir.
Mr. Speaker,
Only one person can talk at a time.
Please. Mr. Speaker, sir, Malane friend who was previously cross-examining my witness asked for 2 minutes. He's taken 10. And that's why the orange light is on, because their time is almost up. Therefore, they cannot expand their cross-examination through this added, expanded scope.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, we've just been notified that we have 5 minutes. I think it's best we stick to our roles. There's someone keeping the time. I'll just take 3 minutes on one issue. Sir, I will ask you 1 or 2 questions. You have indicated that you are retired.
Yeah, I retired from the National Post Service.
In this particular aspect of yours, you are working for the National Police Service.
Exactly, Mr. Speaker.
So do you know about a petition that you filed challenging your dismissal from service?
Yeah, that was through vetting, Mr. Speaker, sir.
And why is it true that you were actually fired because of producing 2 contradictory reports?
That's not true, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I'm ready to explain.
It's not about explaining. You are saying that that is not true.
It's not true.
So I'll refer you to paragraph 25 of that particular petition, and I'll just read it so that it can rest. The second petitioner, you were the second petitioner. True or false? Were you the second petitioner?
Mr. Speaker, I cannot remember whether it was the second. We were 4
You were
in
4.
that petition. We were 4.
You are not sure whether you are the second petitioner.
I'm not very sure whether it was second, third, or 4th.
The second petitioner actually goes by your own names in this particular matter, and this is what the court said. The second petitioner responded to the charges denying the allegations and explaining the facts surrounding the 2 complaints. The second petitioner was
Let him
vetted
just
on
read, then I
7th
give you
of
a
March
opportunity.
2014, and a decision dismissing the second petitioner from service was made on the 22nd day of May 2014 on grounds that he exhibited professional negligence in submitting contradicting reports to the court, and further, that he lacked financial probity for failing to explain how he acquired his assets. Are those words new to you?
Those words are in the petition.
And
But
who are they referring to?
Can you allow me to explain?
Then
you give me another question.
there's time to explain. I only have 2 minutes.
Okay.
Are they referring to you?
Your time is almost up.
Yeah, just 1 minute.
Those allegations were false. That's why I was acquitted. I was to be reinstated, but I had attained the age of 60 years, and I went home honorably.
Your Honor, that is
Okay.
all, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Yes, Councillor Harrison, what was your intervention?
Thank you. My intervention was that my line friend was referring to a document which your honorable members, they don't have. Mr. Speaker, sir, I think that's an ambush on the House. Allow me now to re-examine in a minute. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Mr. Kenga, you can confirm that by virtue of the fact that you have 5 names with a similar handwriting, therefore it's only one person in lieu of 5 who wrote that?
According to my opinion, that the entries which I've mentioned in my report, according to my opinion, those writings were made by the same author.
Now, therefore, instead of the list you got of 88, it reduces by 5 to 83. In fact, 81. Sorry, 82.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, well, Mr. Speaker.
You also were asked about the list of what were you to examine, what were you to look at. If you look at page 471, it is clearly stating that the scope of your investigation was to the 88 names. Could you refer there?
Yeah, my mandate was to examine the list from serial number 1 up to serial number 88.
And then to who's supposed to do what? Read that line. To ascertain what? Whether it was generated by the same person. Isn't that the scope of your instruction? Page 80, yes. Your instructions from Mr. Ondieki.
Yeah. The mandate was to ascertain and examine whether the documents were generated by the same persons.
And you did exactly.
And I did as requested, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Now, lastly, you are told that, oh, you know, you were fired from the department, police, and therefore you had A or B or C wrong. Have you been a witness, a professional witness, in court cases that have even gone on appeal, and your document examination reports been confirmed, affirmed, and taken in convicting criminals?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I've been in this service for the last 27 years, and I've given my expert opinion in Kenya here in all courts. I've been into Dar es Salaam, I've been to Kampala on the same business, and I can tell the Senate that I've done all I can in this police service. I've done my best.
Yes.
And I've not had any complaints so far.
Very well. Copies of those, some of those, not all, some of those. There are too many to bring before the Senate. Copies of these Court of Appeal decisions, High Court decisions, convicting criminals, murderers, owing to your expertise evidence, are at page 454 to page 470. Confirm that? Volume, the same volume 3. Honorable members and senators. Is that correct?
That's correct, Mr. Speaker, sir.
So your work is professionally recognized.
Very well recognized.
And you therefore confirm that the number of MCAs allegedly signing did not sign.
Yeah, the others were not signed by, they were signed by several people.
Thank you very much.
In the documents.
My time is up. Thank you very much. My next witness, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Yes, your next witness, please.
Is Mr. Douglas Oumanyakach. Douglas Oumanyakach, page 48. 600, same volume, 648. I took page 653. Douglas Oumanyakach. And as we prepare, Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg that clip produced as Exhibit 13, that is what we had seen yesterday, be played as the witness testifies in silent mode so that then we do not interrupt you by then again taking too much time on it. The video about the County Assembly delivery of the documents, as Mr. Douglas Omanyakach takes the podium. Please take the oath.
I, Douglas Oumanyakach, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before the Senate in the respect of the matters before the Senate shall be the true, the whole truth, and nothing but truth. So help me God.
Thank you very much. Pardon. Mr. Douglas Owanyakach.
Yes, sir. Yes, Mr.
You have sworn an affidavit in furtherance of defending the governor against the accusations, and which affidavit, of impeachment, and which affidavit is found at page 648 up to page 653 of volume 3 of the governor's bundle of documents marked D. You confirm that?
It is true, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Could you tell this honorable House what you do for a living?
I'm a driver
Yes.
in one of the law firms in Nairobi,
Yes.
Undieki and Undieki Company Advocates, located
Yes.
in corner house in third floor.
Now, the events of December 3rd, 2020 are recorded in your affidavit in detail, and you say that you went to the Nairobi City County Assembly on that day at 2 p.m. You confirm that's what you've stated in paragraph 2?
True, Mr. Speaker, sir.
You confirm also that you are in the company of Mr. Ondieki and Madam Cecilia Naliaka and Mr. Moses Okerosi on that day. What had you gone to do?
As a driver, I was instructed by my boss to stand by because I did ask for the reason why, as a driver, don't need to ask so many things. Later, I was instructed that by 2, we were supposed to take the documents to Nairobi City County, to the office.
County what? County, you've said County Assembly, yes.
County Assembly,
Yes.
to the Speaker of National, at City Hall,
At City Hall, yes.
on which I was ready to that as a driver.
Now, the events of what transpired were captured in a video after you arrived at the assembly. Would you confirm that is what you have testified about in paragraphs number, honorable members, I refer you to the same volume, paragraphs number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up to paragraph 25 of your affidavit?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, it is true, and it was more serious than that. Even you can see me there, standing next, adjacent to my boss, Mr. Lawyer Ondieki and Ondieki.
Could just the clip just go a little bit back because there's someone flashing their hand, just a little bit, no, from where it was before.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, that man walked almost 120 meters, thrice, as if he was doing, as if he was...
Is that you? Post right there.
That's me.
Just a little bit behind. Is that you with a brown, creamish suit? Or?
It is me,
Yes.
standing there with my suit there,
Yes.
with a mask.
Thank
I was standing there next to my, overseeing the circles there. It was more serious, like, I thought it was not, I was in Kenya, the president in Kenya, it was not professional.
Okay.
It was like
okay,
Arobi.
so that we save time. Now, that event you are witnessing was the County Assembly gate accessible of it?
It was the main entrance for the MCA's entrance, only for the MCA's.
Yes.
Because in that gate, there was somebody who knows me wearing a coat similar to the city council. There's a difference.
Keep playing the
between
video. Keep
yes.
playing the video. Yes. Go
That
ahead.
is me.
Yes. Go ahead.
And inside, there were policemen, and outside,
yes.
we were outside. It was terrible.
All right. Okay. So now, what are the documents we can see over there with you and Mr. Ondieki?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, those are the documents I was ordered to carry. Yes. Now they are being unloaded.
We can see you behind there. Is that you?
I'm there standing. That's my job as the driver.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, the documents are being offloaded?
Yes, to outside, because that person who moved thrice in, outside, in, and out.
Of what? The county assembly?
The county assembly.
Yes.
We had to, it was about 2-3 hours. Then that man, it's a short man, a little bit fat, not a slender like me.
Did you witness Mr. Ondieki being given access?
It was not easy. Mr. Ondieki was denied an access. Even he said, "I'm very sorry. I'm a lawyer." He was shouting. Mr. Ondieki was shouting, "I'm a lawyer. Why denying me entry? And that's my job. I can serve anywhere in Kenya or in the world because I'm a lawyer." It was terrible.
Yes, he was, to your knowledge, going to do what at the county assembly?
He was going to serve the Speaker of the Senate.
No, county assembly.
County assembly, as required by law, because he was aware.
Yes, we can see right there, Mr. Ondieki is holding the document.
Mr. Ondieki is arguing with somebody, assault that man from the assembly.
Very well.
Yeah.
That is the event you have narrated about on the 3rd of December, and you have captured the time in paragraph 5 to be at a few minutes to 2 p.m. And then at what time did you leave? But before I come to that, in paragraph 22, you say, page 651, honorable members, you say something there at page 651. 651. 651.
Yes.
Page 22. Sorry, paragraph 22, page 651.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you are there, and then what happens eventually?
I was there after long arguments. There was a police officer. There's a difference between police officer and administration officer. Those are two different things. So administration officer, there were about 7 of them. I heard saying, "Oh, kwani ni nini? Wacha tu apeane. Umwache tu apeane."
Excuse me.
That's in Kiswahili.
Excuse me. What word do you understand to apeane?
Wacha documents.
Apeane documents.
Apeane. Just give him chance.
So did you see the documents enter into the Nairobi City County Assembly?
No. Still, it was chaotic. It was chaotic.
It was chaotic.
As if it was a...
All right.
It's a war.
Okay, so that then we can conclude. Now, the document that you had there, if you go to page 535, 535, just behind here, 535. Is this a copy of the document you had gone to deliver with Mr. Ondieki? At page 535, Mr. Speaker, sir, I just want to address the witness and show him. It runs all the way up to page 572. Is that part of the document that we saw you?
It is true. You can, it is true, Mr. Speaker, sir.
The document running from page 535 to page 572, is that part of the documents you took?
Yes.
That is it.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah. Your last remark on this event, what you witnessed, and what we have seen on that clip, what would you say?
I've seen the documents outside the entrance.
No, about that event. About that event. What transpired?
What transpired, Mr. Speaker, sir, it was terrible. Ours was very simple, Mr. Speaker, just to deliver the documents inside there for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, then to be stamped as required by law, Mr. Speaker, sir. So I wondered, as a driver, and as you know, Mr. Speaker, sir, in Nairobi, if you are caning your child, people come very fast as if there's a tug of war. Mr. Speaker, sir, what I saw there, it was not professional. It was like as if we are not in this country, Mr. Speaker, sir, where there's law and order and people follow
Yes, thank you.
the law. There was no law there from inside Speaker's office because he was the one who ordered us not to present those papers.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I have one.
What time did you leave?
Time.
Yeah, my
I
time is
need-
up. My time is up. What time did you leave?
We were, I need even 6 minutes.
Oh, no, no, no. No, 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 no. What time did you leave?
No, we overstayed there for 3 hours outside there,
Thank
like
you.
as statues.
Thank you. Okay, all right. Mr. Speaker, sir, I will rest at that point. Thank you very much. You will be asked now questions by the lawyers of the County Assembly.
I'm ready to answer.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Douglas Oumanyakach,
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
confirm to this particular honorable house whether you are a court process server.
I'm a driver.
Just confirm whether you are a court process server.
No.
Thank you so much. So your duty is actually just to drive the boss.
My duty is to drive, and if there's any luggage which I'm supposed to deliver, it's 100%, I'm granted to remove from the truck to where it's supposed to be delivered.
Thank you. So do you know that you have confirmed that on that particular day you were driving Mr. Evans Ondieki to the premises of the assembly?
Yes, not Mr. Evans Odiek only. We were with some lawyers, Naliaka, Ekorosi, me. So I was not alone and Mr. Ondieki. We were in a company. So I was driving people, not a person.
In the video that you have shown us, confirm that you have said that that was Mr. Ondieki? The video that you are referred to. You confirm, just answer yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Do you know that Mr. Ondieki has not deponed any affidavit confirming the events that you have indicated today?
Being a driver, mine is to carry the luggage, put it here, to confirm what is inside the document. That was not my job, Mr. Speaker.
That is okay. Just listen to my question. Is it within your knowledge whether or not Mr. Ondieki, as you are doing this affidavit, whether your boss who you were with also filed or signed an affidavit confirming the said facts that you have told us?
Sign inside or at the assemblies. There are two different things. He signed in his office, or Mr. Speaker, or he signed inside the Speaker's office.
Where did you sign this particular statement that appears on page 648?
I
to
signed,
652?
I was the one who wrote it, and I was the one who signed it, not at the Speaker office, sir.
Where did you sign it?
I can sign that one in the law firm,
So
or any place I can sign.
Where did you sign it? The question is where?
In the office.
Which office? Your office, I believe. Kindly answer my question, sir. You signed this particular affidavit on page 652.
Yes?
Kindly advise us whether you can remember where you signed this affidavit.
I signed it at Ondiek's office.
Was Mr. Ondieki aware that you are signing this affidavit?
Yes.
Thank you. You have indicated that there should be law and order. True?
Yes, true, Mr. Speaker.
On that particular day, do you know what was to happen at the county assembly?
I didn't know mine was to deliver and to unload
That is okay.
as a driver.
Did you know whether Mr. Ondieki had any invitation to appear there?
That one, Mr. Speaker, would not, it was not my job
You do not know.
to know.
Do you know that for you to appear, you had to give prior notice to the clerk of that particular assembly?
Mr. Speaker, that was me as a driver, I can't know.
So the only thing you know is that a lawyer can enter any premises at any time because he's a lawyer.
As per he's a professional lawyer,
Yes.
we have court servers whom are trained to serve, even to serve anybody. And as a lawyer, that's his work, how he's eating his daily bread. That's what I know as a lawyer.
So all lawyers in this country can come to these particular proceedings today, and no one should stop them.
Mr. Speaker, sir, there's a way. I hope it was not, there was a notice and time. It's not also, Ms. Ondieki is not mad just to stand and go with these big documents to Speaker if there's no instruction from somewhere. It's not mad.
In
I'm
your
sorry.
document, show us the instructions that Mr. Ondieki had to appear on behalf of the governor on the third day.
Mr. Speaker, sir, Mr. Ondieki is one of the lawyers standing as any lawyer in the world. He was picked by the governor to stand for him.
I've asked you a very straightforward question.
Yeah.
Do you have any letter by the governor saying that Mr. Ondieki will appear on the 3rd on my behalf?
As
Do
a
you
driver,
have it, or
I
have
can't
you
know.
even seen it?
No, I can't know that.
You can't know.
That's not my work to know.
Have you ever seen such a document?
That is not my job.
So-
My job is to remove the documents where I'm instructed to deliver them.
Do you know that on this particular day, the governor had been invited to appear virtually? Was it within your knowledge?
Mr. Speaker, sir, with that one, Ms. Ondieki can answer that, but not me as a driver.
You have told us that you appeared in a brown suit on that day. Confirm that your face was not visible in that video?
Yes, you can even see me. I'm slender, tall. You can even see me there. Mr. Speaker, sir, can it be replayed?
So confirm.
No,
I request.
we already saw it. We saw you in your suit.
Yes.
So,
If you are not keen, you can call the picnic cherish. There's something, if you are not, your eyes can't see, Mr. Speaker, sir, you can request for peering cherish. That glass who can oversee outside and back, front and back. I can offer you one day, Mr. Speaker, sir.
So on this particular video that we have, does it tell us the date that this video was taken?
The dates in the world, learned person,
Just answer my question. Does
Mr.
it
Speaker,
tell us
sir,
the date?
protect me about harassment.
Mr. Speaker, sir, Mr. Speaker,
Mr.
you
Mr.
guided
I need protection
Yeah.
from the person examining.
Mi-
He's harassing me,
Mr.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
you are protected.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Mr. Speaker, you gave a direction yesterday that there can be a yes or no answer.
Yeah.
The
I'm
same
not
should,
explain.
just kindly, the same should apply to save my time, Mr. Speaker. That's the only thing I'm concerned with.
And your time is almost up, huh?
Yeah,
So you better.
because of that. Thank you, Mr.
It's actually
Speaker.
up. Yeah.
Thank you. So on this particular video, are you the one who took that video?
I've been instructed very well and explained very well that as a driver, there is the work even here from the senators, they come from different areas and constituencies. My work was specifically different and assigned by my boss. And that is the work. The person who took the video, the person who took what, that one.
You don't know.
But I know him. But it was not my work to take the video. We were all there.
Thank you, thank you. Confirm to me as I finish.
I confirm.
The documents that you are taking.
Yes.
Those particular documents.
Yes,
Is there
Mr. Speaker.
anywhere in that particular video that you have demonstrated that these are the documents that you are taking as
Yes,
indicated?
Mr. Speaker. As you can see there, it was demonstrated very well. The type of the documents, you have seen there, the type of documents is there. My car, I'm mentioning it is there. Me, as a person who is now talking here, Mr. Speaker, I'm there. What next?
So to that particular extent, you have indicated that the Speaker of this particular assembly denied you access. What proof do you have for that?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. As I've said, and I'll still repeating in this honorable Senate here, we were denied. We were denied. We. I was not me. Okay. We
your time
were
is
denied.
Okay, order. Council, your time is up.
Yes. Yeah. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Okay, Councillor Harrison.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. Just only one question. Douglas.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you very much. In paragraph 3 of your affidavit, did you read that paragraph before you signed? Did you read it? Paragraph 3, you say, on the mid-morning of December 3rd, 2020, Mr. Evans Ondieki, advocate, had informed me that he will require me to be on standby to drive him, Mr. Celia Naliaka, advocate, Mr. Moses Okeroshi, to represent His Excellency Honorable Mike Sonko Mbuvi during the proceedings of the said date, on the said date, slated at 2:30 p.m.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir, it is true.
That's what you know you had gone to do on that day.
Yes, it is true, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Asante.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, sir, my fourth witness, Newton Munene.
Enjoy your holiday.
Thank you. Hello, Council. Is that one of the witnesses you said you will call?
Yeah, and then I'll call the governor, His Excellency.
Newton Munene.
I had said out of the other 7 hours to call.
You said you'll call 4.
I had said 4 and then the governor. I said so. I said 4
but
the governor.
So Newton Munene is one of them.
the last other witness, then I called the governor.
Mr. Speaker, if I may.
Okay.
The witnesses that you were told were to be called were one Douglas, one
Just a minute, we're also confirming, yeah?
and the other person was Kevin.
Actually, the records show Kevin.
The wrong name. I apologize. Mona. It was Newton Munene.
So, Mr. Speaker, if I may.
Yes.
It will only be fair.
I'm so sorry about that.
That we know who is coming, where's the document in question for even the senators to follow. Yeah. And abrupt wake up and telling us this witness is also confusing even the Senate to follow. Kindly let us be candid and practice fairly as referees. This house
because
an arbiter.
What you gave us was Kevin Omari Nyabera. So what has happened?
I was reading from, you see the name of my last witness, and that name was next. Instead of Newton Munene Njiro. I read the wrong page. I confused that.
Mr. Speaker, that
Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me. I apologize for that because
government, and it will be harassing even this particular house. Let us be sticking to what we speak to. If that is not what is stated, let him withdraw that witness. Let him present the Excellency, the Governor.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to clarify, because this witness had produced this way back in time, and the issue has arisen, with tremendous respect, because I had original 7 witnesses. Now, when I called out that name from my original list, I, in that state, had mix-up. I apologize, because there's no prejudice. with tremendous respect.
Council, we cannot allow that. I think let us either produce Kevin or you step him down and call His Excellency, because we cannot keep, you cannot keep taking the House forth and backwards, really. So produce the Kevin, or you step him down, or produce His Excellency the Governor.
I will call Kevin. That's okay.
Okay.
Quickly state the document. Which document is this?
Mr. Speaker, sir, for purposes of preparing for the next witness, Mr. Kenyanji might want to tell us which document he's relying on so that we can prepare, which volume?
The certificate of, same volume 3, the certificate of production of the video that we have just seen, and the photographic evidence.
Mr. Speaker, I didn't get the directions clearly.
Yeah, they're saying which volume?
Which document? Which
where
volume?
do they refer to?
As per marked by the Senate.
This is, must be volume 3 or D2, I think. That is at page 600.
Confirm, yeah.
Yes. 644, page 644.
Is that okay? Okay.
Yeah.
Proceed.
Now. In the meanwhile, Mr. Speaker, sir, I could request so that he just saves time. We just have that video clip playing that has been playing with the last witness so that we can close on that aspect of the evidence.
Okay.
Mr. Kelvin Omari Nyabera. Kelvin, yeah, Kelvin. Huh? All right. This is my copy. Please reduce the volume immediately.
I, Kelvin Omari Nyabera, I do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before the Senate in respect of the matters before the Senate shall be truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Yes, please tell the court what you do.
I am the personal assistant to Evan Sonko, the lawyer who is
Yes.
representing the governor.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, there is that clip that we have seen.
Yes,
Uh,
Speaker.
would you confirm that what the events we are seeing recorded therein reflect the events you witnessed?
Yes, Speaker.
Would you confirm that those are the events of which date?
These are it refers to the 3rd of December 2020.
3rd of December 2020. Would you confirm the time?
2 p.m.
Between 2 p.m. and what time were you?
2 p.m. to 5 p.m.
What place was that?
This was at the door outside the county assembly.
The entrance to the Nairobi City County Assembly.
Yes.
Yes, and so you were able then to take those images?
Yes, I took those images.
You confirm that that is the video clip?
Yes.
And the certificate which you produced at page 644, page 645 of volume 3 is reflective of that accurate recording?
Yes.
Would you like that to be admitted as evidence?
Yeah.
Now, my last question, because you do state there that you had the events of the 3rd of December 2020, were you in any way induced to take that video recording?
No, I was not induced in any matters regarding to this taking of the pictures, because during we came out of the office from the where our daily duties, so we went with the lawyer to the assembly, where I took the office phone and took the pictures of what was happening at the door of the county assembly, because there was commotion. So I took those photos and took those videos personally using the office phone.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, yeah.
Kelvin,
Yes.
did you say the office phone? Did I hear you right?
I said Ondieki and Ondieki's office phone. It is
So you are an employee at Ondiek and Ondiek?
yes, I'm the personal assistant.
Thank you. Your purpose of that visit was to present documents.
My purpose of the visit was to go with Evan Sondeku, who is my employee, to where the designated meeting point, because my work duty is to help Evan Sondeku in his daily to day in, day out duties.
So your only duty that phase was to take photos, and that was all?
No, we carried documents from office which were going to be presented to the county assembly.
Fair enough, Honorable Speaker. I do not have a further question. For this, probably I'll give my land senior, Mr. Ndegwa, to conclude on this.
Only one question. You certified this video in what capacity? In terms of the taking of the video. Limit yourself to the video itself. What capacity?
Come again?
In what capacity did you, other than the PA to the Mr. Odiek, what other capacity did you take in terms of your qualifications for photo or photography?
I took those photos because during the presentation of documents at the county assembly, there was commotion. So I took
capacity, address the professionalism in those issues of photography. Limit yourself to that. Are you a professional photographer? Are you trained?
I'm not trained to
you are not
perform
trained.
those works.
What
but I took
was
the
the
photos.
magnification of the camera that you used?
Okay.
If you do know.
The phone I used was
the magnification. The magnification, for purpose of clarity, because that video is not clear to us. The magnification addressed the question of the specific, the specifications of the camera that you used. Do you know?
Okay, let me explain
You
that.
don't know.
Let me
Finally,
explain.
you say that you edited this through a desktop, correct?
Yes.
Which desktop was that, and where was it, and who is the owner?
The office desktop.
Okay, no further questions.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. I have. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. Honorable members, I do not have any further questions to this witness. I will now call His Excellency the Governor to testify, and I would like to yield to my learned friend, Mr. Nyamu, as he takes up the evidence, after which I will then resume thereafter as we proceed. Mr. Speaker, sir, if I may get your direction. So far, what is my time bank? so that we do not then offend you, Mr. Speaker, or the honorable members. I would like to operate with you.
Yeah, we're going to tell you. I'll tell you in a short while. Huh?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'll be patient.
You have 2 hours and 35 minutes.
2 hours and 35 minutes.
Yep.
Mr. Speaker, sir, as I indicated, I will yield the time to Mr. Nyamo. Go, please.
Okay, we shall break for lunch at 1, wherever we shall be, then we'll resume after that so that we keep our progress. Okay, proceed.
Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable members of the Senate, my name is Wilfred Nyamu, and I'll be leading the evidence of His Excellency the Governor. In our evidence, Mr. Speaker, sir, we shall initially use, I don't know what issue my friend has.
Yeah, only one issue that, sorry.
Yes, just hold on, there's a point of order from Wambua. Just a minute.
Mr. Speaker, you know we are trying to follow these proceedings. And it cannot be that Council would just decide to address the House through you without your permission. The Council on the floor is Council Nyamo. So if there's another council who wants to address the House through you, they should seek your permission, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
Yep, that is true. Proceed, Council.
Much obliged, Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable member for Kitui. Mr. Speaker, sir, the documents that we shall initially use are the document marked 10E, which I believe honorable members have. That's a document that has E for egg. Yes, it's a document that bears the response to allegations made in the motion. It has documents filed with it. The other document that we are going to use is the document marked 10H. Mr. Speaker, and I believe this particular document that the County Assembly had issues with, those issues have been resolved so that we may use it, Mr. Speaker, sir.
10H, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Those are the ones that we allowed yesterday.
Yes,
That was,
yes, Mr. Speaker.
yes, 10H, yes. Yes,
Mr. Speaker, sir.
there's an intervention by Senator Mazayo.
It looks like we don't have 10H with us here. 10E and 10G. If 10H can be availed to us, that will be much better.
Yes, then there is an also, just check if the documents are, those who don't have, you can give them. Then there is an intervention from council. Let's hear him.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think I don't want to ask for directions from this Honorable House again because, Mr. Speaker, our understanding when we raised this issue in the morning was that those documents that he's now referring to were locked out as documents that were lately filed. Mr. Speaker, you might want to refresh my memory on your ruling because that is the understanding of the County Assembly.
No, I allowed them yesterday. Yeah, so let's proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I knew that was the issue, and that's why I sought clarification before he stood. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, as I indicated that those are the documents that we are going to use initially, but...
What's your point of, let's minimize the interruption so that...
Not intervened since yesterday, Chairman, so allow me please.
So I'm saying we
are told severally that this is a court, and members are interfering from every side. Can the members just wait for their time, Chairman? I mean, Mr. Speaker, sir. Other time members are interfering from here. They are complaining when one of the lawyers talks, when another lawyer talks. This is not right. Let's wait for it.
Okay. Okay, order. I think our sugar levels are beginning to go down, but we'll address it soon. Proceed, Council.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir, at this juncture, with your permission, I will ask His Excellency, the Governor for Nairobi, to take the stand.
I, Governor Mike Mbubi Sonko, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before the Senate in respect of the matters before the Senate shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Mr. Speaker and honorable members, in our evidence, we are going to move step by step, charge by charge, for ease of proceedings. Now, Your Excellency, you've been charged in these impeachment proceedings with violation of the laws, gross misconduct, abuse of office, and crimes under national law. On the first charge, the first slip of the charge, you are charged with gross violation of Constitution and other laws. And in 1A, it is alleged that as Governor of Nairobi, you have violated Article 201A, D, and E of the Constitution on the principle of public finance management and Section 154 of the Public Finance Management Act, where it is alleged that the county the County Allocation Revenue Act has also been violated on the use of conditional grants from the national government by diversion or negligently causing to be diverted conditional funds, for instance, in the use of roads levy and bursary funds to pay for garbage collection and lawyers. Contrary to bursary fund regulations and the approved budget. And that while you requested for 297 million for bursaries from the controller of budget, the funds were illegally used to pay garbage contractors and lawyers. Your Excellency, what would be your response to that?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable members. I wish, just in the essence of time, to go direct to my responses. Mr. Speaker, I will refer the House to my affidavit, page 167, Mr. Speaker, sir, to 172, sir.
That is a document marked 10H, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Mr. Speaker, sir, page 167. Mr. Speaker, on page 167, we have a voucher drawn in favor of Nairobi County Bursary Account 2019, being the payment of transfer of bursary funds totaling to 297,500,000. I think this is financial year 2019-2020, and the previous year, 2018-2019, we also allocated the same amount of 297 million. Mr. Speaker, the voucher is self-explanatory. It is not stamped paid. All vouchers prepared for payment, when the process is complete, it's always stamped paid. So it is true that this amount was never paid. Again, Mr. Speaker, I'll refer the House to page 168 of the vote account number R5318, Nairobi City Education. This is the bursary vote account. And it's highlighted, it's marked that the 297,500,000 for financial year 2018-2019, as at the period of July 2019 to June 2020, that this amount was availed for the payment of bursary, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on page 169 of my annexures in the affidavit, we have an authority to incur expenditure of 297,500,000 for bursary fund. The letter is also self-explanatory. And the last paragraph, the purpose of this memo, Mr. Speaker, is to request the money to be transferred to the bursary fund account. Mr. Speaker, on page 170, and the RTGS payment from Central Bank, it is also a self-explanatory document that these funds were not released and they are intact towards the end of financial year. That is the last box, stop reason, end of financial year. And during the COVID period, Mr. Speaker, there were so many challenges. Schools were closed. This document, Mr. Speaker, is a clear confirmation that the mover of my impeachment motion is dramatizing the entire process. He's playing politics. He's doing character assassination, Mr. Speaker. Because, Mr. Speaker, the transaction reference number on box 1 is clearly marked, indicated. Processing reference is there. Originator reference number 619 there. Amount, and this is the central bank, Mr. Speaker, 297,500,000. And reasons, heading, Central Bank of Kenya stopped RTGS payments. Bank code is there, Mr. Speaker. Then the account number is there, Mr. Speaker. Name of the account holder is Nairobi City County. And status, Mr. Speaker, stopped. And the date, Mr. Speaker, it was the financial year, 1st September 2020. And they're saying we spent this money during the financial year. So this is towards the end of the financial year. CBK is confirming that these funds are intact, Mr. Chair, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, and the funds were transferred back to the CBK account. And they're very intact, Mr. Chair. What, Mr. Chair, the mover is not telling us, because we say that beneficiaries of bursary funds, students who used to benefit from my predecessor, Mr. Speaker, I refused to release their checks. But he's not telling the House what was the reason behind my action, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I will now refer the House to page 221 to 360 of my affidavit. And before I move there, I wish to clarify, and I want the ICT department to play the clip on bursary release of 297,500,000, Mr. Chair, for the previous financial year. Can we have that clip, please? This program, which is a key deliverable of my county government, has continued to play a central role in enabling bright but needy students to go to school. During the TIFA polls survey, we were ranked as #1 in terms of bursary allocation with a lot of transparency. We released over 357 million in the first one of bursary allocation program since we took over. We are also in the process of releasing another 400 million to our schools within the Nairobi City County, to poor students residing in Nairobi City County, residing in the slums, wherever they are schooling, may it be Coast, Central, Western, Nyanza. We are in the process of releasing these important funds so that to enable our poor, bright students from the slums of Nairobi, various areas of Nairobi, to get quality education.
majina ni Marian. Nilipata sponsorship kutoka kwa Sonko, and I really thank him because dad alikuwa struggle sana kwa hizo months kabla niingie shule. I really wanted to go to a national school, so na thank Sonko sana kwa hiyo bursary. Najua ndasoma na my aim is to get an A kwa KCSE, and I hope that achieve that goal ili ni make dad, mom na pia Sonko.
Mimi naitwa Steven Ngechu, mkaji wa Korokocho, na nafanya kazi ya kinyozi hapa tu Korokocho. Na furahi sana kwa sababu nikiwa katika harakati ya kazi yangu, mtoto wangu alikuwa anataka kufanya mtihani wa class 8. Na katika huo muda tulikuwa na wakati mgumu sana kwa sababu alikuwa mwerevu sana shuleni. Na akanipromise kwamba anataka kwenda national school. Mwalimu wake pia akanikonfirmia kuna uwezekano mkubwa wa mtoto aende perform vizuri sababu yeye ndiye alikuwa wanamwangalia shuleni. Na akaniambia kwa sababu sikuwa na uwezo vile, sikutaka kumdiscourage. Nilimwambia tu afanye bidii, Mungu atafungua njia zake. Wakati mtihani ulitoka, akawa ndiye anaongoza kwa shule.
Okay, I think we can stop there in this instance of time.
Now, could you explain to the House, give background of this particular video, Your Excellency?
We have over 1,000 beneficiaries complimenting us on the disbursement of bursary to various beneficiaries, various schools countrywide, Mr. Speaker. But in the instance of time, we cannot play the entire clip, Mr. Speaker, honorable members.
When was this documentary taken?
This documentary was taken, even it was aired in various media stations around 6 months ago.
Now, in relation to bursary, would you like to state anything in terms of your relationship with the Assembly members?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, honorable members. And before I move to that stage also, I wish to mention about a document, which I'll not table, Mr. Speaker, just for the record of the Hansard, just to mention about it, Mr. Speaker. It is a certified bank account statement from Cooperative Bank, Mr. Speaker, showing that funds amounting to 297,500,000, Mr. Chair, honorable members, were transferred from the CRF account to the Cooperative Bank account for financial year 2018-2019. And it clearly explains and shows all the beneficiaries, the schools and students, Mr. Speaker, to the tune of 297 million. And because we were denied a chance of producing this document, Mr. Speaker, I'm just talking about it. And we have 80 copies as advised by the office of the clerk, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the mover of the motion was trying to divert the real issues, Mr. Speaker. When he was talking about their checks, which I refused to release, Mr. Speaker. It is true, Mr. Speaker. Their checks we refuse to release because, Mr. Speaker, there are some members of the County Assembly who opened a fake educational institution at River Road. And this, Mr. Speaker, has been happening since 2019 during my predecessor's time, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this institution was called Kobudo.
Which year did you mention? During the
since the period of my predecessor, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, from 2013 to 2017, I unearthed this scandal in 2018, Mr. Speaker. It is a very sad story, Mr. Speaker. The directors of this fake school were wives and relatives of MCAs. And Mr. Speaker, they were getting checks from even CDF accounts of various constituencies, Mr. Speaker, countrywide and in Nairobi. And Mr. Speaker, to prove those allegations, Mr. Speaker, on page 221, we have a memo.
That's 221 of the 10H, Mr. Speaker.
We have a self-explanatory memo, Mr. Speaker, from the officer from DCI attached at the county offices, Mr. Speaker, Superintendent Eunice Maingi, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the letter is self-explanatory. I'll just go through it in the interest of time, Mr. Speaker. The memo is addressed to me after I complained to the DCI that we need to investigate this Kobudo school, Mr. Speaker. The memo is addressed to me, Mr. Chair, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, and it is dated 7th December 2018, Mr. Chair. Reference number, Mr. Chair, is 11A, stroke 2, stroke 4, stroke 5, stroke 1, stroke volume 3, 999 of 2018, Mr. Speaker. And the reference, because a police file was opened by DCI, police file number 111548, Mr. Chair, stroke 2018, and there is a court file because the suspects were arrested, arraigned in court, and that matter is ongoing.
What's the document? What's the document at page 221?
The document, Mr. Speaker, in the process of the court case file is 1892, 2018, to the details of the offense. Forgery of official documents contrary to section 345 as read with section 349 of the Penal Code. Accused, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, Job, Omondi, Mark, Ibondo, and 3 others. Mr. Speaker, I'll not read the entire letter, but briefly, paragraph 2. Briefly, during the month of September 2018, information was received to this office that there is a community-based organization operating in the name and style of Kobudo Educational Center. It was defrauding the county government by forging bursary checks. Investigations commenced, and the investigators obtained court warrants to investigate the accounts of the community-based organization housed in Cooperative Bank of Kenya Limited and the county government development account housed at Cooperative Bank City Hall branch, Mr. Chair, honorable members. In the course of investigations, we established the directors of Kobudo Educational Center are as follows, Mr. Chair, Mr. Speaker. 1, Job Mark Omondi Imboko. This is a county government staff I inherited from the previous administration, working under the Department of Water, Mr. Chair. 2, Mr. Chair, Francis Odhiambo Ouma, a personal assistant to the MCA Karen, who is the ODM chair Karen. 3, Mr. Speaker, Quinsta Adhiambo Ouma, wife to the PA of MCA, Mr. Speaker. 4, Mr. Speaker, Nancy Nasimiu, wife to the first accused. This is the DCI, Mr. Speaker, not Sonko. In the course of investigations, we established Francis Ouma is a personal assistant of MCA Karen. Investigations were extended to both Cooperative Bank of Kenya and Equity Bank. And we obtained original checks and image checks, account opening documents for Nairobi County government and that of the suspects, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, in Equity Bank, the investigators obtained 77 original checks, the ones the mover was complaining why I have not released them, Mr. Chair. And the checks were drawn by Nairobi City County government, and on critically looking at them, they were all forged, Mr. Chair. All forged. I'll come to that, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, in Cooperative Bank, we obtained 129 image checks drawn in favor of this fake school which does not exist, called Kobudo Educational Center, Mr. Chair. Investigators are saying we further established the suspects obtained money from county government up to the tune of 4.5 million shillings. Mr. Chair, I'll just go to the main points in the interest of time. After establishing the identity of the suspects, DCI, we involved the services of criminal intelligence personnel from CID headquarters. And on the 5th day of October at 3 a.m., we apprehended the accused persons. We conducted search in their houses and recovered 67 original checks drawn in favor of different schools within the county. 113 bursary application forms in the names of different applicants within Karen ward. And 2 payment vouchers originating from Nairobi County government. Mr. Chair, honorable members, after investigations, the suspects were charged. The handwriting and specimen signatures of the 4 suspects were taken and forwarded to the document examiner at CID headquarters to ascertain whether the accused persons were the authors of the checks, and we are yet to receive the report, Mr. Speaker. These are some of the witnesses, Mr. Speaker. DCI officers, we wanted to bring them to testify, but in the interest of time, the report is here, authenticated, suspects are in court, charges are there, Mr. Chair. But this is a very important memo. Let me just finish, Mr. Chair, because I'm on the last paragraph. Mr. Chair, the suspects were arraigned in court. These relatives of MCS arraigned in court on 8th October 2018. They pleaded not guilty to all the charges. They were released on cash bail of 400,000 or alternative surety of $500,000. Case is marked for mention at Milimani Locus on 5th January, Locus number 5, on 5th January 2019, with a view of fixing a hearing date, which was fixed, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, the DCI is putting a note in my memo of the 7th December 2018. She's saying, because she's a woman, the case requires traveling because we have witnesses in Homa Bay County and some areas of Rift Valley. Therefore, we require urgent facilitation to enable us move with speed and cover what is remaining before the hearing date, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, moving to the next page, page 223. These proxies of MCS were charged, as I said before. The case file, police file number, I repeat, 11-548-2018, Mr. Chair. And the details of the suspects are there. The relatives of MCS are there. Description, gender, male, tribe, Luo, female, Luya. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the offenses are self-explanatory. Offense number 1, conspiracy to defraud, contrary to section 317 of the Penal Code.
Offense number 2?
Let me go first to the details of the charges.
Perhaps, Your Excellency, we would, in the interest of time, we would wish to refer to the document appearing on page 223, all the way to 230. No, not 230, 228. What document is that?
These are
223.
These are from 223 first to 226. These are various counts, various charges which were preferred.
What document is that?
Sorry?
What document is that appearing on
These
page?
are charge sheets.
A charge sheet.
Okay, it's a charge sheet with so many counts,
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members.
Yes, and there are other documents referred to at page 227 and 228.
I think before I go there, there's a
Yes.
important message I want to raise here.
Carry on.
Maybe the details of the charge, Mr. Chair, Honorable, Mr. Speaker, Honorable members. Okay, accused, already we have the names, but the details of the charges, Mr. Speaker, on the diverse dates between 30th May 2016, Mr. Speaker, before I became the governor of Nairobi, this scandal was there. Taxpayers' money was being swindled in Nairobi City County government, Mr. Speaker. So, on diverse dates, between 30th May 2016, during my predecessor's time, Mr. Speaker, and 13th September, my first month in office, 2017, meaning I'm the one who stopped this scandal during my time, but it was ongoing. We were losing government funds from during the last administration's time. So between May 30, 2016 and 13 September 2017, at a known place within the Republic of Kenya, jointly with others not before court, because there are even some MCAs who are supposed to be charged with these suspects, Mr. Speaker. I don't know why up to date they have not been arrested. The current MCA and 10 more MCAs who have not been charged and arrested, Mr. Speaker, due to political interference. So let me proceed with the details of the charges, Mr. Chair. Jointly with others not before court, by deceit and fraudulent means, conspired to defraud Nairobi City County government a sum of 225,000 by forging bursary checks purporting them to have been issued by Ekaya Alumasi, who was our chief officer, finance, and Martha Wambugu, accountants working with the Nairobi City County government, a fact you knew to be false. That is count number one, Mr. Speaker. I'll not go to all the counts, but all these offenses, Mr. Speaker, started during the previous administration's time. But I think there are some important details. Maybe member will read for themselves. So they were charged with account 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's page 225, page 226, Mr. Chair, honorable members. There's another count also. Until charge, account 9. But some charges are very, 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 very important to this case, Mr. Speaker. And because yesterday there were some grievous allegations which were made by the mover of this motion. So, Mr. Speaker, you'll allow me also to do a clarification on the scandal by MCAs who are diverting public funds for poor students to benefit themselves and their wives and families, Mr. Speaker. So you'll allow just to do a clarification, because after banking these checks to their fake school, they used to withdraw the money in cash from various banks, various branches in Nairobi City County, Mr. Speaker. So there are some charges where these proxies, wives of MCAs, used to go and withdraw these charges. I think I'll find it in one of the counts which are here. So count 2, on the 5th day of October.
Look at page 234.
234. 234.
Yes, of that particular document.
It's a bank statement, but I wanted first to we move systematically, page by page, right, as we reach there. So because we want to prove our case beyond reasonable doubt, Mr. Chair. Okay, page 227, Mr. Chair. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, these are checks, number of check numbers of the diverted checks, which were drawn by the county and diverted and banked to this Kobudo educational account. And because this scandal involved various banks, withdrawals, and we needed to save the county from being swindled, bursary fund, Mr. Chair, we had to involve the Central Bank of Kenya. We have a DCA department at the Central Bank of Kenya, Mr. Chair. And I just want to refer the House to page 229, Mr. Chair, a letter from Banking Fraud Investigation Department, reference DCI, stroke BFI, stroke SEC, stroke 4, volume 3, no, volume 30, no, 308, Mr. Chair, stroke 25, dated August 13th, 14th August 2018. The letter is addressed to us, County Secretary, County Government of Nairobi, and attention to the Chief Officer, Finance, and Chief Officer, Legal Department, Mr. Chair. Reference BFID, inquiry number 479 of 2018. Suspected fraudulent checks in respect of this fake school, Kobudo Educational Center, which was opened by MCS purposely to divert bursary fund to benefit themselves. And this was ongoing. I want to repeat myself, Mr. Chair, from the previous administration. But I stopped this scandal during my time, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, the letter is self-explanatory because the members of the public do not have this document. To just allow me to take the public through this document. This office is investigating a fraud case where the above institution, through its Equity Bank account number 1250168255007, was issued with multiple Nairobi City County government development checks, which were later cleared and paid through the above quoted account, Mr. Speaker, honorable members. To enable us complete our investigations, please furnish us with the following, of which we did, Mr. Chair, Speaker. 1, official list of bursary applications and beneficiaries for the period between May 2016, before I became the governor of Nairobi, 2016, Mr. Chair, 2017, 2018, and July 2018. 2, certified copies of counter files for the check numbers as per the attached account statement. 3, an officer whose duty is to disburse the funds to record statement to the effect. 4, any other information that can assist the investigations. Thanking you for your continued support. The letter is signed by Tobias Obondi, for Director, Banking Fraud Investigation Department. Mr. Chair, page 231 is also a summary of investigations. There are various letters were written to various schools, Mr. Chair. For instance, the DCI, there is a letter she wrote to Mulingi High School, investigation on theft of bursary funds of account city, county, government. This office is investigating case of theft, contrary to section 65. It is alleged that some officers of Nairobi City County government, in conspiracy with other members of the public, stole funds meant for bursary allocation issued by the city county government. It is on record that some students in your school are beneficiaries of the said bursary allocation. This is therefore to request you grant the bearers of this letter cooperation in their investigation. Signed by Eunice Mainga. At this stage, Mr. Chair, I will wish the ICT department because the story was in the public domain. But before I go there, there is a response. There's a response to the from the principal of this school. He's saying to it may concern reference Nairobi bursary check purported for Mulinge High School. And the school is saying, the above matter refers, kindly note, the school did not receive the said check. Number two, Mr. Speaker, the name indicated is not the name of the school. Three, Mr. Speaker, the school has not had any student by the name indicated and is signed by the school. And just at this juncture, the ICT to play, because the scandal was in the public domain when we were unearthing it, Mr. Speaker, honorable members. Can we play that Citizen TV?
Okay, order. Order. Honorable senators, ladies and gentlemen, it's now 1 p.m. Time to interrupt proceedings. The Senate stands adjourned until 2 p.m. this afternoon. The governor's team will have a balance of 1 hour, 50 minutes when we resume.